What if your thoughts were just like reflections, like the ones you see in a mirror? And what if you got to consciously make the decision of which ones you wanted to let go of and which ones you wanted to keep? Because unfortunately, a lot of people spend their lives reacting to their thoughts. And what I'm about to cover and go over in this video has seriously changed my life in such a drastic way that I just feel like I need to share it with everyone else, because I understand and I know that a lot of people right now have a lot of anxiety or a lot of depression. And I want to let you know that, first of all, your life does not need to look like that. And second of all, you can take the time to no longer let your thoughts affect you as much. And you don't have to react to your thoughts in the same way that you did before. So you're probably wondering, what is the mind mirror experiment? And this experiment is quite literally training and treating your thoughts like looking into a mirror. Instead of immediately reacting to a thought you have, you take the time to pause on it, observe it, and just give your mind that space. Because when you take that little action step, you create such a big ripple within your mind and within your every single day thinking. And this is the important part. When you look in a mirror, it's not lying to you. You're not seeing a fake reflection of yourself. And the same thing can be said about your thoughts. What you are thinking about is a direct reflection of what is going on within your mind, what is encompassed and composed within who you are. Of course, we have random thoughts sometimes, like random impulses. If you see someone walking down the street and I'm not even going to say the example because it's kind of dumb, but we all have impulsive thoughts. But I'm talking about the thoughts that really affect you on a deep and heavy level. Because the truth is that a lot of us don't take the time to actually sit and reflect on what we are actually thinking. We scroll to numb. We party and we drink to numb. We distract ourselves with the relationships that aren't serving us. Like, there's so many different things that a lot of people do to run away from the thoughts that they are having. And I understand and I know what that's like, because there was a time period in my life where that's all I was doing. All I wanted to do was run away from my own mind. But by making the space to look at your thoughts in a way that no longer affects you is the biggest game changer. And if you are new here, hi, my name is Izzy and welcome to my channel, Creality, where I truly and fundamentally believe that we have so much more power and control over our lives than we could ever imagine. And that's why I created this channel, because I really just want to help people shift their mindsets and create their own reality. Because I know what it's like to live a life where you feel like your mind is overpowering you and running your every single day behaviors in a way that you don't want to. So I just want to share everything that I have learned within my time of being on this earth that I really feel could help you. And the mind mirror experiment is something that I think would be super beneficial. And that's why I've chosen to cover it in depth on this video. So with that being said, let's get into fully how you can start implementing this into your life and really start seeing super big transformative changes. Let's get into it. It's funny because you guys don't see this part, but it takes me so long sometimes to actually get into the flow of these videos. But once I do, it starts coming out like, okay, I'm good to go. You don't care. I'm going to keep going. So now let's talk about why this experiment actually works. Because neurologically, 90 to 95% of the unconscious thoughts that you had today, you also had yesterday. And a lot of these unconscious thoughts come from our childhood traumas, from our deep-rooted fears, from our biggest insecurities, and from the things that we picked up growing up. So if you grew up with a lot of limited beliefs, or you grew up in a bad home or bad circumstances, or any circumstance, because the truth is that we are all going to experience bad things. So we are all going to pick up these kind of beliefs. I just want to preface that, because it's not like oh, well, maybe you don't have these, or maybe we're all going to pick up these kind of thoughts. So if you grew up believing that you are not good enough, or you're not going to be successful, or you are not meaningful, you will continue to carry these beliefs, and it will affect your every single day thinking unless you make the conscious decision to interrupt this thinking pattern. Because when you make it a habit, and when you actually notice the unconscious thoughts that you were having and you interrupt these, you are activating your prefrontal cortex. And when you activate the prefrontal cortex, which is the conscious part of your brain, you are able to not just react to a thought, but you're able to look at a thought and observe it, change it, and replace it to something that is empowering. And by making the conscious decision to notice any limiting belief or any thought that you were having, and not only switching it, but not letting it affect you, is your higher self really stepping into that place. And when I say higher self, I mean in just the version of you that really is the best version of you in every single aspect. And this highest version of you sees everything out of love, sees everything out of its highest potential, including yourself, and creates with intention. Because as Joe Dispenza says, you cannot create a new future by living in the emotions of the past. And I just also want to take this a level deeper, because, we're complex creatures. Like, we're human beings, but the way our brains work and the way our emotions work and how our childhood really has framed us is actually kind of crazy. And by actually being able to see it from a different point of view and a different light, you're able to kind of bring it down in a way and view and observe everything that you've gone through in a new light, in a way where it doesn't need to affect you the way that it might affect you today. Every single one of us has a mental blueprint from our childhood. So if you grew up being ignored, you might always feel the need for validation. If you grew up with comparison, you might always feel the need to be better than everyone else. If you grew up feeling like you were not loved, you might adopt this belief to be true, and you might just feel that you are not deserving of love. And unfortunately, a lot of the time, these beliefs that we pick up are just unconscious, and we think that it's just normal. Oh, it's just normal that I think that way. I've thought that way my whole life. And that's why reflection is so powerful. Because when you're able to really look at a thought, if it's limiting, and ask yourself, is this really my truth, or is it from my childhood? Is this helping me grow? And is this what I want to believe for my life? Because if it's not helping you grow, and it's not something that you want to believe for your life, you are the one who gets to decide to change it. I'm going to give you guys a little quick practice. I don't know who to credit, but I've started doing this, and it seriously has helped so much. When you have a thought come up that you do not like, and it is not your truth, metaphorically within your mind, imagine that thought crumpled up into a piece of paper, and you just throw in a river, and you watch it float away. You feel no emotion attached towards that thought, because you know it is not yours. So as it is floating away in the river, and you are literally picturing it and seeing it in your mind float away, you feel a type of release, because you realize and you identified that that's not even my thought to begin with. It's okay that it popped up in my mind, but I'm not going to let it sit in my mind and stay there, because it is not serving or benefiting me in any way. And this is where true powerful change comes, because once you start making it a habit to, by a few thoughts a day, or really noticing the super big thoughts that come up and changing them, it'll become so automatic for you that it just happens right off the bat. Because that's the place where I've been able to get myself in my life. When I have a negative, and let me say this, it's not like I don't ever have bad thoughts. I have bad thoughts sometimes. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, sometimes I have those, what are those thoughts called, where they just kind of pop up? Like, I see someone and I'm just like, what if I just punch him in the face and ran away? What is that thought called? Wow, this is a really big brain fart. What is that called? Holy crap. Well, I'm just gonna skip over it because I don't remember. It's okay to have thoughts like that. And if you say you've never had a thought like that, you're lying. You're lying. I don't care how good of a person you are. I'm an amazing person. I would never actually punch someone in the face, but I've had those thoughts before. But I'm talking about the thoughts that are really deep and really heavy, like you are not good enough. By doing it every single day and actually building this part of my brain to notice and do this, I don't have negative thoughts as much. Seriously. Like, obviously sometimes I have them still, but by making this a habit, you will notice the biggest shift. And I posted a poll on my YouTube saying, what do you guys want to see this week for my YouTube video? And one of a really big response I got was working on anxiety. And if you want to work on your anxiety, you need to start applying this method and experiment into your life. Because a lot of the time when you are feeling anxious, you are literally letting your unconscious thoughts just come up. And you're not taking the time to actually step back and think, what am I anxious about? What am I thinking about right now? Because if it is something that you cannot control right here, right now, if it is something that you cannot change, don't let yourself get so freaked out about it. And if you tell yourself that you're just an anxious person and you're just someone who has always had anxiety and you'll always have anxiety, you will always have anxiety. You are the one who gets to make a choice to change. You have more power over your mind than you could ever imagine. So don't think that you have a disease of anxiety that is not real. I have had anxiety before. I know what it's like to have anxiety. I understand and I know that some people have to go on medications for it. But I want to let you know, I'm not telling you to get off your meds. I'm not, if you are. But I want to let you know that you need to realize that you have a lot more power over your brain than you think, and you really got to try. Really take the time to step back and reflect. What thoughts are popping up that are making me have anxiety? So I want to literally give you guys a step-by-step breakdown of how you can start doing this experiment consciously. Because I know it's one thing to do this with unconscious thoughts, but sometimes that can be a little bit harder. But actually taking the time out of your day to consciously make this a routine will help you start doing it unconsciously. So the first step, I think this would be great for you to either do in the morning or right before you go to bed. The first step is to get super quiet. Literally just sit with yourself like you are going into a meditative state. Get super quiet, no music, no distractions, no talking, no nothing. Sit down and just breathe in and out of your nose for 3 breaths. I just made that number up, but let's just say 3 breaths. And really get grounded and calm. Also, you guys, sorry for this little interruption. If you're not new here, you know I do this every video. But me and my boyfriend's clothing brand, Loom Project, which is right here. And also, I just want to say, I say me and my boyfriend's clothing brand, but he's the one behind all the designs. These empowering messages on the back of our hoodies and our t-shirts are all crafted by him. So yeah, it would mean the world to me if you could support at Loom Projects. And I also want to say that we have one more product coming. And I'm really excited. It's my personal favorite. And once it is officially here, you will be able to buy all 3 of our different products on loomprojects.com. So with that being said, let's get back into the video. So the second step is to just let the mirror reflect. When you are sitting in this space in the quiet, let any single thought that comes up pop up. Don't try to analyze it. Don't try to fight it. Just let it be there. And the next step is to observe and not attach yourself. You can, again, look at this thought, but know that you are not your fears, you are not your past, you are not your insecurities. All this is a thought in your brain. The only power that it has over you is the power that you allow it to have over you. And the next step is reframing it. What would your highest self be thinking right now? What do you want this belief to actually look like? What do you want this thought to look like? And if it's something that's positive, that's amazing and that's great. But if you do have certain negative thoughts pop up into your mind, what would you want to change this to? Because you're not suppressing your thoughts. You're transforming your thoughts to something that will actually serve you. Because as I said before, all a thought is a thought within your mind. It has no power over you. It is not going to hurt you. And if you feel anxious and you feel anxiety, what about the future of something that has not yet happened is making you feel this anxious? Because that's what anxiety is. You're thinking about the possibility of something happening that has not happened yet. You have so much more control to not let it have that power over you. And by sitting in this meditative state and by being an observer, you are the one who has complete control. And the next step is just to journal. Write down what you observed. Write down what came up in your mind, especially what you did not like and what you switched it to. Because once you make this a conscious habit to do, you will notice your thoughts look so much different. And these new beliefs will become anchored into your subconscious mind. If you do not see a change in your everyday thinking and in your life by implementing this experiment, you can comment all the hate comments ever, because that's how confident I am in knowing that this will change your life. It will absolutely change your life. If you want to get rid of all that anxiety, if you want to help with the depression, if you want to help achieve your goals, change your thoughts. It all starts within your inner world. You don't need to do more. You just need to see clearly, because clarity is freedom. And clarity is the kind of freedom that you deserve to have over your life. Never ever forget that you create your own reality and you are more powerful than you could ever possibly imagine. I've used this practice in some of my lowest points of my life because you are not your thoughts. You are not your past. You are not your traumas and the things that you have experienced. You are the one who gets to make a choice to change. Seriously, and never ever forget that. Like, I know that we go through bad things in our life, but ultimately, you are the one who gets to control your thoughts. And by implementing the mind mirror experiment, you will see the biggest shift ever. Because as I said in the beginning of this video, this isn't just some like little science experiment or some little like woo-woo thing you can do. Like, this is actually changing your life by changing your thinking. Because what you choose to focus on and think about all day will be reflected into your every single day reality. And me teaching these things, it's to help you in your mind state. But when you change your inner world, you will see your outer world change. And that's why in my videos, I talk a lot about how your thinking actually controls your reality, because it is so true. Because when I was having negative beliefs all the time and when I was having negative thinking all the time, I was seeing negativity reflected into my life. But when I started changing these thoughts to be positive, I notice my world become a whole lot more positive, and you have the power to do the same exact thing, because I'm not better than you or smarter than you or luckier than you. I seriously just train my brain to think differently. And you have the same exact capability and power. You just have to want it bad enough. You have to want to change bad enough. And I don't want you to feel that you need to get to the lowest of lows to feel like you need to change, because unfortunately that's how it was in my life. I had to hit rock bottom to realize that I needed to change, but you don't. If you actually took the time to listen and watch this video right now, that tells me the kind of person that you are. You are the kind of person who knows that you have so much more control over your life, and you are wanting to grow and you are wanting to learn different things. And I just want to congratulate you and also just say thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video, because the whole reason I make these videos is to truly just help you guys. Like, it's not for me to just talk out of my butt. Of course, I love the subscribers and I love that kind of stuff, but it seriously is what like fulfills me and makes me feel happy. When you guys message me saying that what I said in my video and what you implemented actually changed a lot of things in your reality, I'm kind of like, wow, because that's what I feel pulled and called to do. We all have a higher purpose and we all have a higher calling. And I want to remind you of that. I say that in almost all of my videos because I know in a world like 2025, it's easy to feel like you're small and insignificant, but you are not small. You are existing right here, right now for a reason. There never has been and there never will be an exact life expression of you or me or anyone else. And take pride in that and become confident in that. And, you know, I think I'm going to do a video on confidence and just really embodying like the highest version of you, because I used to not be very confident. I used to let my thoughts be very insecure and run by doubt and run by comparison. And by changing and implementing this experiment and just reflecting and noticing the thoughts that I was having and changing them, I'm no longer this little, oh, I just need to hide behind a freaking shadow. Like, I feel like I'm such a confident person, but it's because I took the reins of my mind and the power that I had to start thinking differently. My inbox is always open. Like, even if I'm a complete stranger to you, I don't care. I will answer. I feel like the fact that I am probably a stranger to you, it makes it a whole lot easier for you to open up, because I know and I understand that sometimes all it takes is just someone to listen. So with that being said, I thank you so, so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this. Truly, truly try implementing this experiment into your life, because you will see a huge shift. Never ever forget, you create your own reality. I love you guys so much, and I will see you next Friday. Mwah, thank you, bye.